Wow, great song. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hope everyone is doing well. Everyone is safe and at peace and in good health. Uh, it's an honor to be here with the LP family. Woohoo! Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jewel, for the invitation. Thank you. I hope you guys are well too. And welcome, everybody. Welcome. Feel free to make some comments. If you have any questions, feel free to chat it up. Right? Very cool. Awesome. So as we are rolling in, hey, hi Miguel, how are you? Good to see you. Awesome. Great. So thankful to be here and happy to share some of my experiences and the journey on this wonderful instrument, the power of the drums, and the power of music in general. Uh, it's such a blessing. And what can I say? But just in gratitude, very happy. Um, so, as we get ready to get started here, uh, my name is Nikki Campbell. I was born in the province of Colon in the country of Panama and raised in Southern California. My family roots are Jamaican from both my mother and father, and also on my mother's side, one of my great grands are from St. Lucia, and also family in Cuba. So the city in which I was born, it's on the Atlantic coast of Panama, and it's a melting pot of Afro-Caribbean culture, Pueblo Originario, indigenous culture, which are the original peoples of the land, and the birth of a Maroon nation, and much more. Basically, historically, Panama is known for the influx of people coming in and out, right? And even before the canal was conceived, that was happening historically. So now with the building of the canal, there's been a lot of migrations of different cultures from around the world. People came to work and ended up settling to begin a new life, right? And so that the Panama is just a beautiful country, and I just keep saying Panama because it's the multicultural, the diversity in the country really um, helped me uh, basically who I am, my identity, and where I'm from. So I had a great childhood. I had a great experience in my childhood. But my mom, my grandparents, my family, love them to pieces. I was very active and adventurous in my childhood. My mom took me everywhere she went, basically everywhere. I remember she even took me to a concert. It was a night concert. I have no idea how I got in there, but uh, it's, oh yeah, it was Tabu Combo. It's one of the biggest group and influence in Panama. They're not from Panama. They're from Haiti. But I remember seeing that group at a young age, and that was amazing. And Tabu Combo is the music is compas style of music. So I was like, that's like memory still with me. But besides that, my grandfather he's a painter, artist, and and thanks, Jerry. He's an artist, painter. He painted a lot of murals, and he passed this talent down to my eldest uncle and my aunts and my mom. They're great with arts and craft, and my mother loves interior designing. In terms of music in my family, in this lifetime that I know, there was no one actually uh, took music as a profession or play music. So I was like the first in the family to perceive and follow that path. Um, let's say, Yeah, there we go. That was H2. That was in Panama. I have no, I can't remember exactly the event that was happening, but that's me as a kid. Yeah. I remember my mom giving me my first drum actually. It's I think they call it the tongue drum. You play with mallets. And I will play with it, but then I was just so busy with as a child, you know, I was very, very active. So I was busy playing sports and joining uh, all the activities outside with my friends and stuff like that. But pretty much, I was very fortunate to have a great multicultural experience at home um, through music, through our food, our family, our community gathering. And I grew up listening to so many different styles of music, um, being the Caribbean influence, all the diversity and the multicultural that was around, all that like was within me and stayed with me even when I left. So music like soca, calypso, zouk, merengue, uh, reggae en español, not reggaeton at the time, so it was reggae en español, combo nacionales, boleros, all that stuff. Soul music, because it's a lot of West Indian uh, in our country, and my family we spoke English, and so a lot of the American influence, American style of music influence, like soul music. My mom loved Teddy Pendergrass, Marvin Gaye, like that era was just like it's so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I guess we'll call it baby boomers. so so yeah, so just growing up and hearing all of the music was just such a beautiful experience, and the culture. One of my favorite was carnival time, the preparation of carnival time, the music, the building, the floats, the gathering of community. That really was a powerful experience. Remember hearing the drums. I mean, I was very young. You know, it's like I left Panama probably about 10, 11. So that experience just stayed with me. And listening to the drums and during the carnival time was amazing. Like I remember hearing all this stuff, but I didn't understand what was happening. Like what was going on, what instrument was what. I didn't know any of that, but I remember hearing it. Remember the experience. Um, and also like the marching band's experiences, seeing the schools to honor the country independence from Spain and Colombia. Uh, that is the parades are amazing. The the arrangements are amazing. The style is amazing. It's a bit different from out here, but it's it has its similarities, right? So both my parents migrated to America in different times, different times, in the 80s and later in the 90s. Um, so once I arrived in California, it was very, very different, very challenging to adapt to a new culture. You know, to me, it felt very, what's the word? Uh, Silent, like distance, separation. That's the feeling, and that's what I was getting while I was growing up here, because I was so used to being active, interactive, seeing a lot of kids outside, the activities, like all of that. So here was very different. It was just like zero, nothing was happening, you know. So it was very different, but I maintained myself active and busy with sports. I love playing sports. I love basketball. I love teamwork. You know, so I remember also growing up um, here, San Diego. That was San Diego. Shout out to all the San Diegans. uh, Basically, with my family and stuff, it was very beautiful as well. But I remember we, my brothers and my sisters, we didn't like cleaning. So when it was time to clean, I remember being in the kitchen and just always tapping on pans and pots, the kitchen cabinets, uh, What else? Anything that doors, anything that will make music. So at some point, you hear like a orchestra of just beats banging on walls and cabinets happening because we would just have fun that way. So that was just funny moments of not realizing um, all the rhythm that was developing, you know. So I would say hmm, once I got through college, studied business administration, and finance, and I was like managing 3 jobs and going to school. And then there was one job I remember that was hiring. They were looking for. There was like a big announcement, a big announcement about employees. They're looking for employees, and it was a large amount of employees that they're looking for. So a friend and I was interested, and he was getting ready to go to the military, and I was just like, nah, let me go check out this new job. Sounds interesting. So I went, I applied, and it was one of the biggest entertainment venue in Los Angeles, West Hollywood at the time. It was called the House of Blues. And me growing up in East LA, like LA, going to the West Side was like completely different. So once I got that job, I was commuting and going to school. But it was there at that job where music, I was immersed in music, all the live shows, all the performances, all the clinics. Oh, it was incredible. I was the first 300 employee that got hired. I worked in the box office department and did other things in between because the business was basically just starting to open. So everybody was doing a little bit of everything. But it was there that I got to see so much music, observe, meet. It was just amazing. That was like the inspiration of many things, right? Uh, so I don't lose track here. Having that experience at the House of Blues, I remember gathering with the coworkers and employees because there was many that were pursuing their acting career or being a musician or whichever artistry and entertainment. They will always gather after work. And I remember a gentleman named 𝗟𝗑𝗏𝗏. He's a great guitar player. And he was like, let's gather and have a jam session. So I just decided to go check it out and see what's about. And I remember seeing a drum set, and I sat on the drum set. I sat on that drum set and just started grooving with the DJ, just minding my own business, and grooving with the jam session. And it was there that I realized that, you know, this was fun. It felt really good. But it was the first time I actually played an instrument, first time I actually played a drum. So I just kept going to these jam sessions, kept going and kept going, kept getting invited. And I will say when there was a show, who did I see? Ben Harper. Yeah, I saw Ben Harper perform. And it's when I met Leon Mobley, the percussionist. When I met him, everything was changed for me from that day. He introduced me to the Los Angeles community of drummers. Basically, it's it's incredible. I mean, I can be here forever talking about that experience. Well, basically, we met and he heard that I played, and I was just like, no, I don't. I'm just messing around. So he invited me to uh, a show. He's great percussionist, sweetheart, very charismatic, and he uh, he was putting, and also known to gather community, because that was very important. He always gathered community with his talent and just shared so much with community. So when he invited me to an event that he was putting together, he said it was about 20 drummers and about I think it was a 40-piece choir, and he said he needed drummers. and he just invited me. He's like, please come to the rehearsal, come to see if it's something that you would like to do. And I was like, sure, no problem. So I went. I think a student of his and myself were there, and no one else showed up. He was conducting the rehearsal with the singers, and after that, he was like, hey, you guys, so tomorrow we're actually going to be at the venue, and all the drummers are going to be there, so just come and wear something African. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll do that, you know? So just following spirit, you know, just following and just flowing. And so I went. But the funny part, when he said wear something African, I was like, okay, I got to get creative. That's what came to my head. So I got creative. I already had my natural hair. I found a great shirt. It had some nice prints and like drum prints and all that. So I wore that to the rehearsal show. And and when I walked into the rehearsal space, it was basically walking into the village, the community of Leimert Park, and just a community of Los Angeles that are dedicated in the arts of West African drumming, all of that. So, but then I didn't know anyone. So when I walked in there, I just had a big smile, I was super happy. I didn't have a drum or anything. Leon brought a drum for me, and it was that experience that changed a lot. I finally met all the drummers, and I remember they were all playing, just sitting, just drumming away. And I didn't move. I just stood there, and I just listened, and I just listened. I didn't move. I just listened. And one of the drummers were like, it's like, come over here. And I was like, I'm good. I'm just listening. And he's like, come over here. I was like, oh man. I was very shy. I'm a very shy person. And so I was like, okay. So I went, and literally I just sat there and I just listened. And I just kept listening and I kept listening. And I was just like in awe, and it's just something in me just like froze, paused, and I just closed my eyes. And then once I opened it, he just looked at me. His name was Rock, fabulous drummer. And he's just like, he said, play. And I was like, I was like, I ain't playing, I'm not playing, right? So I just kind of like nodded my head. I was like, okay. So I looked to the right, looked to the left, kept listening, and kept observing. And then I just started to move. So I just started following the patterns and grooving. And since that time, I locked in into the groove and in the rhythm, and it was done. I was gone. Hey, hello, Alberto. How are you? Very welcome. And so that event, that experience was so inspiring. The concert and was for Special Olympics, actually. And those 20 drummers that were there that day basically were at some point in this journey were going my teachers as well, you know? So I had no idea in the moment of that process, no idea. And I remember, so Leon comes up to me and he's like, that is what you're wearing? And I was like, yeah. He's like, no. So you're gonna go see my cousin. And when they brought the outfits and I saw all the galas and African outfits, I was like, I was floored. Okay, I was so floored. So it's just, I share this story because I didn't know the names of the instruments. I didn't know the culture. I didn't know that part of the roots. You know, even though, excuse me, even though I was growing up in Panama and whatnot, but there's something about the African roots that was not taught. We didn't get that information in school. We didn't know. So a lot of it we had to, we're now learning more. We have all the information that we can get now with internet, but before there was no internet, none of that stuff. So we got the information the best way we knew how, through teachers that were coming from the source, Africa, teachers that left legacy, for example, like Babatunji Olatunji, Laji Kamara. These were pioneers when it comes to djembe tradition. And when it arrived in the US, and this is like 50s, in the 50s, the influence it had in jazz music, um, I just felt like that, that history kept just being passed down, and it kept developing community, um, and it kept building community, and it kept inspiring many. So that's what brought me back to my roots, deeper roots. And so that was the beginning of the drum journey, right? So from that day, many other doors started to open up. And I met Leon referred me to his brother, 𝗟𝗏 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦, to teach me. So, because Leon was very busy touring, so I went to 𝗟𝗏, great percussionist, great teacher. Um, I was so excited and so inspired. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to know what was happening with this instrument, and just much more, you know. So I was driving to Anaheim, super far, to get these lessons. And at some point, I met one of the 20 drummers. This is like later on. I had moved. I already left West Hollywood. House of Blues was already. No, I was still at the House of Blues, and I met Rahsaan Cummings and his son Khalil. They were like literally walking down the street, and I remember seeing him. So I was just like, "Yeah, the drummer that was, you know." It's like, I remember you. And he was very, 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 very respectful, very nice, and very cordial. And he told me that he's also teaching close by. So that's where I switched gears. And I was like, I started going to their classes. It was much closer, and I was studying with them consistently. We played at dance classes. We played mostly really dance classes, because that's the training. We did workshops. So like one door led to another door. So from playing for all these classes, going to actually take drum classes, they were also bringing teachers from other parts of Africa to the community. So we were there to learn. So there were several groups within the community of Los Angeles that specialize in African drumming, which is djembe. And that from there, I just kept on the path. And remembering, still at the House of Blues, they had what they called the House of Blues Foundation, which they dedicated that section for kids. So different schools were coming in during the day to experience the House of Blues, arts and culture, because they had a lot of African American arts, blues culture. So they had a band that would actually take them through that journey. And I remember I would leave my desk and go downstairs and play with the band, the little bit that I was learning, and just jamming, just having fun, you know. And it dawned on me, and I was like, something is missing. It clicked. I was like, something's missing. I mean, they're getting all the information. It's great. And I was just like, they're not getting Africa. So I went up to the director's office and I gave them my idea. They were like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, we'll maybe try it. We'll let you know. And the musical director of the band, he's like, you know what? I'll give you 20 minutes. So I got super excited, and I told my teacher, 𝗟𝗏, and I told him if he can gather, put a group together and, you know, showcase for the kids for that time. So I think it was Black History Month too. So everything was just clicking in my head. And he did. He actually did. And they came and they just blew everything away. Um, and the staff, everybody was very grateful and very excited. They were in awe because they'd never seen anything like it. And the kids just really, really loved it. So those experiences really um, inspired me and to become who I am today. And from working with Rasan and Khalil and studying with them, basically just studying. And from there, I I had my first, very, very, very first salsa gig, and that was with, yeah, there it is, Candy Sosa, Embrazon. Yes, Echo Park Cuban Festival. I got called to play bongo. Yeah, that was great. That was Candy Sosa is amazing. She's a beautiful, beautiful Cuban singer. She's been in LA for a very, very long time. She's got great history. She's played with so many, and I believe at that time was uh, the first women all Latin jazz band at that time. If I'm not mistaken. I like to say the first. I might be wrong, but I believe so. Um, so I got referred by Michito Sanchez, and I didn't know. She just told me this, and Robertito Melendez and Bobby Matos. So I kind of skipped a couple of the journey because it's just so much. I'm trying to remember stuff. Um, so I gave the West African influence uh, and what got me started, and then once I kept training and kept learning, I was just so determined to learn more. Um, Candy Sosa, back to Candy Sosa, she gave me a call, and I was like, sure, I will be there. I'll play some bongos. But when it comes to Latin jazz, I got trained. I met Bobby Matos, um, beautiful man, Ibaye, rest in peace. Um, he talked to me about the New York style of playing and so many things, so much history. And then he referred me to Robertito Melendez, who played Latin jazz, uh, and to learn more about congas. He's teaching uh, every day. I think it was like on Saturdays in Highland Park. So I went over there every opportunity I can go to learn. I showed up, and Robertito Melendez was one of the 20 percussionists at the gig that Leon had uh, gathered. So I remember meeting him that day, and it was so funny because I was just like, I was like, so where are you from? Are you from India? And he's like, nah, man, I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm from New York. And I was like, oh, okay, because we were all dressed for the show, so we all had like a regalia for the show. So I thought he was from India. So we always laughed about that. So, but years later, I ended up in this class, and it was great, great, great lessons. I learned pretty much everything, all the rhythms that are played for congas, all the styles. So when Candy called me, I was prepared to do that gig. Um, so I played bongos and campana. On that picture, Milena was there. Rocio is there. Uh, can't remember. Oh, Nedro Wheeler on bass, very good bass player, and just great time. Very, very, very great time. And during the process and this journey and training, I got called to do a tour, um, a group in Seattle. They're steel drum percussion and dance. And that tour wasn't like the tour, like the fancy tour, I'll say. This was like the hardcore tour, do it yourself tour, do everything yourself tour. And basically, it was I would say it was my training. The musical director, Michael Chance, This was very family-based group. They toured across the U.S. on a tour bus, doing every festival you can think of, and also the schools, educational school. So it was a steel drum band, and they had dancers. And that experience, basically, they covered a lot of music, a lot of music that I was remembering in my childhood now. So this is soca, calypso. Remember my favorite tune playing with them was Pan in the Minor by Lord Krishna, and a lot of original songs that they had. They had like 9 albums, so they had a lot of original material, and also they influenced. They played a lot of great covers from Cha Cha Cha, from boleros, samba, Haitian compas, um, a little bit of everything. So that experience just strengthened my skills, and I just kept, studying and applying all of what I was learning to the music, even the djembe stuff, because I was still learning. I'm still learning. I was still a beginner at the time, but I was having all these great experiences as a beginner because I was just starting at. I was probably maybe 3-4 years into it, you know, and and once the door for the Latin jazz opened up, many more doors started to open, and it just kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going, and just very, very excited and fortunate for this experience. I remember as well, this is all coming, everything's just so like, so much information. I remember, I think he's a LP, yeah, he's a family of LP family as well. His name is Dan Tai. During this journey, he gave me 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘𝗦. It was VHS at the time, and a lot of the Latin stuff I was getting a lot of, like, I'll get videos, I'll go buy books. The tour that I was speaking of earlier, the musical director, he was introducing me to a lot of different videos too, like Talking Drum with David Garibaldi and Michael Spiro and Jesus Diaz. Like, I was watching all of these videos, and I was just teaching myself, like, it's rewinding, and I was practice, and I had to learn a lot of patience on learning that way, because I was just like, oh no, that's not it, rewind, do it. So I was very hard on myself in that aspect. So that learning experience and with these teachers and friends really helped me a lot in this journey, um, and the tour as well. Let's see, any questions? Anyone has any questions? Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. Hola, Ricardo. Ricardo. Ricardo is the man. Also a great inspiration on this journey, big time. Yes, this is a great journey. This is Khalil, the story I said earlier with his father. So this is, because he was 9 at the time when we met. So this is him as a young adult with all our teachers that basically influenced and taught us so much when it comes to Mandic tradition. That is Mama Keita, Khalil, Famadou, and Abukuyate. Just really thankful for this experience. That was actually Khalil's, I think, record release album, because we had traveled to Guinea to study, and he recorded his album, and I was so fortunate to be part of it, be part of the group. So a family, a community. So that's, to me, that's what the drum's about. It's just really community and family, and of course, just the love that's coming from the heart for you to play, and really touching people's lives and inspiring. And while you're healing yourself with your drum, you're also healing others. So that for me was always very, like, purposeful, So let's see, where am I? I'm just like, okay. So then, so now having these experiences, I'm moving into the multicultural experience now. Because sometimes it feels like you're the only woman, but you're actually not, no? After playing with Candy Sosa and having other experiences, there were many other women groups that were emerging at the time. They were growing. I remember got called to play for, to audition for Mariachi Divas. They're Grammy winners now. And the singer at the time, Costa Rica, she's from Costa Rica, her name is Ileana Garcia. That group is a powerhouse of women players. So I remember when I got the call and I was just like, mariachi, but this is traditional, there's no percussion in mariachi. And they were like, this is a fusion. So I was like, oh. And then I heard Milena was also originally in the group first. And so they were looking for a percussionist in this. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. So they fused, they played the traditional mariachi, but they also played other genres of like salsa, cumbia, merengue, all of that. So that's where I came in to add to that. But I learned a lot because I wasn't very much familiar with mariachi music. And I was able to, at that time, there was in LA, there was a lot of movement, the Son Jarocho movement. There was also the Afro-Peruvian movement. At least for me, it seems like a movement because it was all happening at the same time. And I was just like, wow, I love this. I love something about it. I was just activated, and I just like, I want to learn more. I want to be part of this, you know? So I got lessons. I remember seeing Peru Negro, I think, in a concert. And I met Mr. Gino Gamboa. He's like the cultural, basically, ambassador of Peru here in Los Angeles. And I asked him, I was like, I heard he was teaching. I was like, can I get some lessons for you? I just really want to learn this instrument. And he was like, yeah. So I sat with him a couple times, and he taught me like the basic rhythms for the cajon. And just started listening to a lot of music. I did a lot of music listening, and I would listen, and I will practice it. So these opportunities with these groups made me practice and apply what I was learning into these different genres. So I included the cajon and the mariachi as well. And I fell in love with son javicense style of music and huapango. And they didn't really play son jarocho, but son jarocho is part of the roots of all of these styles of music. It has a lot of African influence in it. So when I hear it and I play it, it just click, everything clicked. So in terms of tradition, I felt kind of like guilty that I was adding stuff to that's very traditional because there's not much percussion in there. So I always would hesitate, but I'll play it anyways because it just felt good, But I know the traditionalists were probably like, oh man, but I was like, hey, this feels good. Like, why not? But at the same time, I was learning music that I didn't know before, So I was able to apply some of the cajon, the Peruvian grooves within the genre. Even the like the waltz and stuff, So that was good training, I would say. It was very good training. And let's see what's next. So I'm losing track here. um, let me see, what's the next group? Okay, let's see. So anyways, let's see, from the previous segment, I'll say my influences. There's so many. This entire experience were my influences, the community, all the music that I was listening to, all the Caribbean music. There's so much stories. Oh my God, everything is just like coming. Afro-Cuba, like I completely forgot about. And I mentioned my teachers in the West African influence. the Latin jazz influence. When it comes to Afro-Cuba, that was you can tell I was just all over the place. I was like a kid in a candy store. And Juan Calvo Flores was one of my influence and teachers when it comes to Afro-Cuban tradition. May he rest in peace. And also Lon John Oliva. Penalty, that's what he was called. Penalty. When it comes to Afro-Cuban, I was just immersed in wherever those guys went. Whenever they called me, I was there. They really gave me the opportunity to play with them, and very respectful as well. They never gave me any problems, because it can be very challenging for women in the industry that's dominated by men, always led by men. So it was very few women that were leading any type of ensemble, or besides Sheila E. Because I remember seeing her at the House of Blues. She blew me away, and I wasn't playing then, but she blew me away. And I say this because it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of heat. And when you express your opinions or your ideas, it's like almost like you're pulling teeth. No one wants to hear you. They're just like, silence for a minute. Let's play. Or if you make a mistake, they're pointing the fingers at you quickly. So there was like a lot of that challenge and machismo that was going on, and you can feel it if you show up and you play, and you just feel it like they made you feel like you don't actually belong there. But as time go by, all of that just faded out. Because there's a lot more women playing now. So thank you, Jules. There's a lot more women playing now, and playing well and kicking some butts. I'm seeing some young women that are coming now, and I'm just like, wow. So it's set up. It's here. The platform is here, and that's the part about joining these women's group. From Candy Sosa, 𝗟𝗡𝗩 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗏, Mariachi Divas, ella Son, and 𝗟𝗣, all of them. They gave women an opportunity to have a voice, to showcase, to shine, to share what they have learned, to all of that, So it's also very healing to be in a group of women creating and playing. There's something very special about that. Not to say playing with the guys is not. It's very special too, but there's something very, very unique when women come together and play. So I'll say one of my favorite clinicians was John Santos. John Santos, he just blew my head away, the way he teaches, the way he plays, very eloquently. Just love him as a person as well. It's just really beautiful spirit. And there's just so many other players that I know, so many, Monyongo, Joey, everybody, just so beautiful and very inspiring and welcoming. I love 𝗟𝗩𝗘 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗏. His style of playing is out of this world when it comes to percussion. Not so much just the traditional music, but like when it comes to percussion and music, how he applied it. I remember just listening to his music over and over. I'm like, why did he put that? How did he come up with this? So he was very much influencing and inspiring as well. See, what else can I share? Did I miss something? Let's see. Oh yeah, there's Marta Gonzalez. She's also a big inspiration from Quetzal during the Son Jarocho movement. Yeah, Martitas, she's artivista, lead singer from Quetzal. She had put a group of women called Entre Mujeres, and women making music across borders. That was the project, and I was very honored to be part of it and to share everything that I was learning onto this project. it was son jarocho, but also with creative infused elements. So that was really, really a great, great project. And the message that came with the project was very important as well. And doing the son jarocho movement, I just learned and adapted so much. And let's see, where am I? Spoke about the women groups, right? Peruvian, let's see, Lila Downs. Important gigs, yeah? Let's see. Yeah, let me see. Important is I was very, very lucky. I was very, very, very lucky with to play. I got a call from Monyongo Jackson to play for Stevie for a private party. And I believe Fausto was on tour, and Monyongo had something to do, and it was a private party. And Monyongo said, "Hey, do you want to play?" And I was just freaking out. At the time, I was working at the tax office, and I was in the office freaking out. I was like, what? Somebody pinch me. What? This is not happening. And it happened. And it was a beautiful, great experience. He's amazing, loving, kind, and there was no preparation for that gig. It was like show up and play. So I was a wreck. I was a wreck of nerves because Stevie has tons of music, and I was like, what's gonna happen? But what just gotta trust the process, you know. Sometimes you just have to trust the process and trust that everything that you've learned and everything that the experiences, it's just once you hit stage, everything kind of just disappears and you're in the zone, you know. And playing with Stevie was amazing. It's an unforgettable experience. I remember he was like, since we didn't know what we were gonna play, everything was being called right there and then, you know. So he was like, I need to hear more percussion. And I was like, Jesus Christ. So I was like, here we go. So, you know, I had to like, you know, just own it and play. So that was an incredible experience, and just grateful for that opportunity, grateful for that experience. Another important gig was the violinist Miguel Atwood Ferguson. He honored J Dilla, so he gathered a lot of great musicians for this honor in this album. And now this is a different style of music, you know, and applying percussion to that, for me, that was challenging. The drummer was Chris Dave. Bass player was Thundercat. What was that? Brandon. Brandon Coleman, and yeah, there was a lot. It was like an orchestra. So that was a great experience. I was pretty much, I froze playing next to Chris Dave. I literally just froze. My whatever I prepared creatively just went out the door. Literally, I I just basically just froze. But it was great to play next to him. We had rehearsals without Chris, but when Chris showed up, it was a whole another experience. But that was a great learning experience. It taught me to ask your mentors and ask your teachers if you're unsure of the music. Like, not to be embarrassed to ask, just ask for help. You know, just ask for help. And yeah, so that was one. And then Lila Downs. Lila's Downs. You can show the picture with the, yeah, Lila Downs. So for me, I mean, there's a lot of important gigs, but that gig to me was full circle. It wasn't the first time that I had met her. I with Marta earlier, Marta Gonzalez from Quetzal, we had a show together with her. We actually opened up for her. Marta got invited to do the show, and Marta had the idea to bring two other women percussionists. So Sarah Rosenkranz and myself, we did a theatrical piece with poetry and percussion, and we opened up for Lila that way. So I remember seeing and hearing Lila for the first time then. That was probably like 2000 and 2009, I think was. Not 100% sure, but that was my first time seeing and hearing her music. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience. We never got to meet that day. But this experience right here in today's day, playing with her, touring with her, full circle from all the experiences that I had here in Los Angeles with mariachi, with son jarocho, with Latin jazz, all of it, West African, just all came in full circle back to this, and when I got the call, I think I was covering for Marquitos at the time, and I was just like, yes, I'm down to do it. I'm down to try it out. And playing next to one of the baddest drummers, 𝗟𝗣 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗘𝗦, and again, the band is just amazing, So they're very familiar, very welcoming, very loving. Lila Downs herself, very loving, the maestra is incredible, beautiful voice, beautiful human being. She influenced a lot in the East LA community, the Chicano community, of her artivists, her statements and her music, what she represents. And all of that influence, it's like I'm taking it in, it's part of who I am, just being that multicultural from back home to here, all of that influence, all of that just from the heart, just purposely define my journey, with the drum. Just very grateful for music and grateful for this experience. Just grateful for the creator, grateful for my ancestors, and because without them, this is not possible. So, so the video for Lila Downs. That was Austin, actually, yes, Austin, Texas. It was our last gig of 2020 before the pandemic. And I think that was the day we found out that Austin, Texas, not Austin, Texas, but some of the festivals were canceled. So, yeah. Woohoo! So the first drum that you heard me playing there was a tamborito. I finally got a tamborito from Panama. I was so excited to receive this drum, because it's the drum that, with all these experiences, the one that I was missing. I was missing that specific drum. So, and so with that, that just that statement in itself just says a lot, because you're in community, you're part of the community, you're part of your own community as well, and then you start to see some missing elements. And for me, some of the missing elements was my own Panamanian culture. And so I wanted to go back home and share what I learned and love here, with everything that I basically experienced here. I wanted to share it when I go home. So when I went home, I went to teach at 𝗟𝗣 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦 Foundation. I joined several different organizations within the community to share West African drumming. Wanted to teach some of those roots, African roots, in Panama. So with that, I wanted to learn more also about the Panamanian drum that I was missing, because there was so much, and I'm like, where do I begin? You know. So Drew, I think you can show a picture of the next picture. Can't remember the next. Yeah, 𝗟𝗑 tamboreros. 𝗟𝗑 tamboreros. So 𝗟𝗑. That's in Mandinka's tradition. 𝗟𝗑 means happiness. It means happiness. The essence birthed through the drum. You know. So all those experiences that I was having here, all the Manding influence, was basically I wanted to share it home. And 𝗟𝗑 Tamboreros, the project that we were doing there, is called 𝗟𝗑𝗞𝗞𝗜 de Ritmo, Pyramids of Rhythm, and also an influence of 𝗟𝗑𝗫𝗘𝗦 Keita. His workshops, he did a lot of series of rhythms, and he used them in pyramid form. So while I was home, I had the idea to get together with the brotherhood and the sisterhood that's there in the community, and I asked one of the big brothers, fabulous percussionist Oscar Cruz, one of the Cruz's brothers from the group La Cachamba, to see if he, can help me develop this idea, because we always talked about doing something together. And I was like, "Ooh, we're running out of time. I have to leave soon. Can we do this?" And we gathered, and basically we did a pyramid of rhythm throughout the regions of Panama. So, Jill, you can show that video. Yeah. That's el tamborito panameño, caja tambora. Okay, so there's a cumbia rhythm, and we attempt to do a rhythm from 𝗟𝗑𝗫 on this video. So 𝗟𝗑𝗫 is like the bridge to Colombia, So a lot of our roots are basically coming from the same tree. It's just, yeah, let me quiet now, let me quiet. Yeah, so that was the idea. There's more. So the video is about 8 minutes long. And we did this, we initially started in January, I can't remember the exact date, but I think it was the day the pandemic started. So we gathered and we played it, we did it. The production team from 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗦, a very well-known production team that's done a lot of great cultural documentary. Musical director was Omar. Omar Herrera, he did the musical direction for that day. And that was very challenging too, to go through from different rhythms from the region without stopping. There was no rehearsal. It wasn't planned. It just came together and we just said, we're going to do it. But there was a lot more. All the drummers and percussionists that you see there, they are professional players, and each of them represent a certain region. And so they knew the rhythms inside out. So once we started, it just flowed naturally, and it was great. And I love to see the young. There's like a lot of young drummers that were there too. Um, they're embracing their own, and they're also just learning so much more of the culture. So they're multicultural percussionists. So the new generation is fierce that is coming out of Panama. And a lot of those drummers on those pictures, they are professionals, are killing the game. uh, Many of them play with Ruben Blades and different groups. And so just really excited to be able to execute that project. And that's going to lead to many more other projects. So I'm really, really excited that I was able to tap into my own Panamanian drum and culture and study. Que viva Panama, Eric Blanqui said he was the man on the video. Eric, um, Eric. So Danilo Perez as well. He does did a lot of great job in the community by opening up the school, because it influenced and brought and inspired so many young kids to apply for music, to just delve into music and give them opportunity to study and study abroad as well. Berkeley College of Music. So I was really stoked to be part of that community and share, like I said, share what I learned here and meet the new generation, and we just keep going and keep learning and inspiring. So yeah, so that was that project that's coming on board. And I'm losing track here. So that was one. And I think there was another project that was, oh yeah, cool. Puentes de Poder, my own project, cultural project. We in 2015 we traveled to Panama to show mending culture. We did a lot of workshops throughout the country. We traveled to Costa Rica as well. We combined with other groups in Costa Rica as well to showcase this concert during Black History Month. So the movement was it's just so beautiful. We had a great time teaching and a great time performing, and just inspiring. And that's what I hope to do, just to touch different lives and inspire as many as we can, just the same way I got inspired. So let's see. So that was that. That's Puentes de Poder. It's a cultural exchange project. And dedicated to foster the growth of music traditions, and to connect people to their ancestry as well, the ancestors, just like how the drums connected me back to my roots. So that's what I would love to do. Yeah, let's show the video a little bit of video of Puentes de Poder. So this is a collective community coming together to make this happen. So, yeah, awesome. Yeah. So that was the experience that we had back home, from workshops, dance classes, concerts in Panama, bringing some mending tradition. So the drum is just my connection to my roots. I'm forever grateful for the experience. Like, if you see the reaction of the kids, oh my God, it's like night and day. I was like, this is, I think it was like over 300 kids, and they just as soon as they just heard the drum, immediately they just reacted. Usually kids are very quiet. They're supposed to listen, but nah, it was like a big party. So the kids took it in, and that was very special, very special. So the project is a collective. Uh, Danilo Perez Foundation, Walters Foundation, Arnold Walter Foundation, so many organizations that came together to make it happen. So forever grateful for that. Forever grateful. Very grateful. So I think the last video, some amazing kids again. Um, so just want to say that uh, this experience has given me so much. I am very thankful, and it's healed and still healing me. And I'm hope that it's healing as well to those that I encounter. Um, touch many lives as we possibly can. And this last video is with, I think it was a Sesame Street experience with the kids. I wanted to give the kids the experience to lead. I didn't want to be the one talking and giving instructions. The director, Josh Bell, is a fantastic film director. He's like one of the best film directors in LA. He recently transitioned at a young age. Beautiful soul. He did a lot of great projects, and this was one of them. And I would love to show the kids uh, video with Sesame Street really quickly for you. So the importance of drumming and music.
My friends and I are playing instruments from all over South America. My grandpa taught me how to play cajon like they do in Peru. This is a beating bow from Brazil. You play with the baqueta, a dobrão, and the caxixe.
It's so cute.
I play the conga like they do in Colombia.
Toquemos!
Clap your hands and follow the rhythm along with us.
Saludos, ¿qué tal? Desde Medellín.
1,
Saludos.
2, 3, 4, 5,
Awesome.
6.
Yay. So the video was for Latin Heritage Month, and it was really, really super fun to be part of it and to see the kids enjoy that and to inspire other kids as well to play instrument. I mean, music is very important in our lives, and it does wonders, like it did wonders for me and for the community, and for it's just a very important element in our lives. It changes so much, and I love for kids to have that freedom, that creativity, that joy, and to learn about other cultures, because that really is important as well, and just help develop so many different experiences, and really just this is great. So I love to teach kids, and I also had the experience of teaching at the women's prison as well, sharing as much medicine as I possibly can with the drum. I also taught at elementary at Grand Vision, romp, roots music, and the kids really just take in the drums. They observe all of it. They just love it. So way for them to express, release all of that. So it's really wonderful. It's really, really wonderful. And thank you guys. Oh my goodness, I did an hour. I thought I was going to do 45 minutes. This a lot. It's just so much to talk about and say, and yeah, good idea. Let's see. The djembe was my connection that basically just changed my life, and just opened up many other doors for me. And so the cultural context of the drum is right there. It is the djembe. Drum's most likely about 400, 800 years old, and was created during the Malian Empire by the Mande people. It spanned to modern day countries from Senegal, Mali, Burkina Faso, the Gambia, Guinea, Montanara, Ivory Coast, pretty much West Africa. It's very popular drum. It's everywhere now, and yes, exactly. Uh, you guys can see that, right? According to the Bambara people in Mali, the djembe comes from saying 𝗟𝗣𝗩𝗘𝗟𝗟, which translates to everyone gather together in peace. And it defines the drum's purpose. And that's what it is. That's what we're striving for, to gather in peace. Peace of mind, peace in heart, peace in our spirits, peace and love. We in dire need for that in these times. And as a community, I'm thankful for my community. I'm thankful for my teachers. I'm thankful for my ancestors foremost, the creator, my parents. And thank you, the community and the family of LP. You're welcome, Aaron. Thank you. Cool. Coco. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you, you two, great player. Thank you guys for your support, for showing up. Thank you, everyone. Super. Ay, gracias, muchas gracias. Mi gente panameña, 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘𝗦. You gotta come to LP, man. You're next. Great percussionist. Mi gente panameña, muchas gracias a todos. Saludos. Saludos a mi familia, si están viendo, mis compadres. And thank you, everyone. Thank you. Feel free to connect with me, these websites and Instagram and the projects and whatnot. I teach kids online. I'm teaching adults online at this time. So feel free to contact me. Thank you, LP family. Thank you, LP. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you so much for inviting me, sharing my story. This was a great experience. Thank you so much. Much love, peace, and love.